Let me think about your video. Here's the script. If you're a man over 50 and you've been told your testosterone is normal for your age, I want you to listen closely, because that one sentence has quietly derailed more men's energy, strength, and confidence than almost anything else I've come across. Here's what most men never get told. Low testosterone after 50 is rarely just about age, and it's almost never about one pill. There's a deeper story underneath your numbers, and by the end of this, I'm going to share the single biggest driver that most guys completely overlook. So stay with me. Let me be upfront. I'm not a doctor. I'm a men's health educator, and I've spent years sitting with the research and talking to men who feel like a shadow of who they used to be. Tired by mid-afternoon, soft in the middle no matter what they eat, foggy, flat. And when they finally ask their doctor about it, the answer is often a shrug, a lab printout, and everything looks fine. But you don't feel fine. And that gap between what the chart says and how you actually feel, that's exactly what we're going to close today. So let's start with what's really happening. Testosterone naturally declines with age, that part is true. But the speed and the depth of that decline is heavily influenced by how you live, not just how many candles are on the cake. Your body isn't broken. In most men over 50, it's responding, logically and predictably, to the signals you've been sending it for the last 20 years. And that's actually good news, because signals can be changed. Here's the first driver almost nobody explains. Your body fat and your testosterone are in a constant tug of war. Excess fat, especially around the belly, contains an enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. So the more weight you carry in the middle, the more your own hormones get shifted in the wrong direction, which makes it easier to gain fat, which converts even more. It's a loop. And no pill on earth outruns a loop you're feeding 3 times a day. This is why guys who lose even 15 or 20 pounds of belly fat often report their energy and drive climbing back up. They didn't add testosterone. They stopped bleeding it. The second driver is sleep, and I need you to take this one seriously. The majority of your testosterone is produced while you sleep, in those deeper stages most men over 50 barely reach anymore. If you're getting 5 or 6 broken hours, snoring heavily, or waking up unrefreshed, you may be quietly capping your own production every single night. Studies have linked just 1 week of restricted sleep to meaningfully lower testosterone in healthy young men. Now imagine that compounding for years. This is one of the most powerful levers you have, and it costs nothing. The third is chronic stress. And here's the mechanism, because the mechanism matters. When you're under constant pressure, your body pumps out cortisol. Cortisol and testosterone work almost like a seesaw. When one stays chronically high, the other tends to stay suppressed. Your body is ancient. It doesn't know the difference between a charging predator and a relentless inbox. It only knows this is not the time to build, this is the time to survive. And testosterone is a building hormone. So if you've been running on stress for a decade, your body has rationally decided to dial it down. And if you want faster, longer-lasting results while you work on these foundations, I've put the exact natural support I recommend in the link below this video. It's designed to work alongside the lifestyle changes we're talking about, not as a magic bullet, but as a way to give your body the raw materials it needs while you rebuild the rest. Go check that out, and then come right back, because the most important piece is still ahead. Now let's talk about why pills alone fall short, and I mean any pill, prescription or otherwise. Think of it this way. If your testosterone is low because of belly fat, poor sleep, chronic stress, and a diet stripped of the nutrients your body uses to make hormones, then a pill is trying to fill a bucket that's full of holes. It might raise a number temporarily, but it doesn't patch the holes. The moment you stop, you're right back where you started, sometimes worse, because the underlying drivers kept working the whole time. That's why so many men feel like they're chasing their own tail. They're treating the readout instead of the wiring. Which brings me to the point I promised you at the start, the single biggest driver most men over 50 miss. It isn't any one habit, it's the fact that these drivers stack. Belly fat steals your sleep. Poor sleep spikes your stress. Stress drives you toward sugar and alcohol, which adds belly fat, which steals more sleep. Most men attack one corner of this, see little change in a couple of weeks, and quit, concluding it's just age. But the men who turn things around don't fix one thing. They nudge all of it gently at the same time and let the loop start spinning in their favor instead of against them. Vitality isn't a switch you flip, it's momentum you build. So what does that look like practically? Start with protein and real food at every meal, because your body literally builds hormones from the nutrients you give it. Healthy fats, zinc, magnesium, vitamin D from honest sunlight. Lift something heavy a few times a week. Resistance training is one of the most reliable natural ways to support healthy testosterone, and it doesn't require a fancy gym. Protect your sleep like it's a medical appointment, because it is. Walk daily to pull stress down. And cut back on the alcohol that's quietly sabotaging all three. None of this is glamorous. All of it works together. That's the whole secret. And here's the part I most want you to hold on to. This is not about clawing back your 20s. It's about becoming a strong, sharp, capable man in the years you're actually living in. I've watched men in their 60s feel better than they did at 45, not because they found a shortcut, but because they finally stopped waiting for permission and started rebuilding the foundation. Your body is far more responsive than anyone has led you to believe. Age is a factor. It is not a sentence. So if you take one thing from today, let it be this. You have more control than you've been told, and the levers are in your hands starting tonight. If you're ready to support your body the natural way, and you want a head start, click the link in the description below. I've laid out the exact natural support I trust, so you don't have to guess. Go take that first step today. Your future self is going to thank you for it. Stay strong, stay curious, and keep showing up for yourself, because the best version of you isn't behind you. It's waiting on the other side of a few honest changes. And just so we're clear, everything I've shared today is general education, not medical advice. Talk to a qualified healthcare professional about your own situation before making changes. Take care of yourself, gentlemen. I'll see you in the next one. That lands at roughly 1,200 words, inside your 1,150, 1,350 target E, with the hook in the first two sentences, a teased payoff delivered late, the mid-roll and closing CTAs both pointing to the description link, and a compliant educational sign-off.